questions? Yes, ma'am.
Two quick sort of logistical questions. Number one, are you planning on holding any votes on like resolutions or trying to force any procedural votes related to?
Yeah, as you listen to Chip Roy, it's based upon Yvette Harold's bill. We have a discharge petition with more than 210 signatures from Republican members. We hear Democrats talk in the press asking the president not to remove Title 42. This is their opportunity to bring it to the floor. So it really ends with them.
The second question was, I thought I heard Congressman Gonzalez reference another border trip. Is the House Republican Conference planning another border trip?
Yeah, I have a trip. We have never stopped going to the border. One of our first trips were just in last year around March is when we discovered the, we took a large group down, we discovered catching now people on the terrorist watch list, but they have been continuing. I would say almost 2/3 or almost every single member of our conference has been.
And next week, we're having the fourth to San Diego that I've been involved in.
Yeah.
And on the 19th with
Every group has been sending people down. I'm going to have another trip that I take down and bring members later this month, but yes. You should go with us sometime. Yes, sir.
Do you think Secretary Becerra last week in his testimony was fully honest when he said that Title 42 will remain in place so long as the folks at the CDC and others give us the facts and the science to show that in order to protect public health, they can and will use Title 42 to protect Americans, and the next day the announcement comes?
No, I don't. And if you raise that question, the Speaker just extended proxy voting here in the House based upon COVID. I just flew with a mask on based upon the extension that they believed within COVID. Remember, Title 42 goes beyond just COVID itself. So there's a number of reasons why they should maintain it. Yes, ma'am.
Do you think it's advantage for Republicans that Democrats are holding a hearing now on this matter? Do you think that this gives you guys a way to say that?
I think this is too serious of an issue to play a political advantage. It's one side or the other. It goes down to the foundation of your nation. It goes down to the security of your nation. It goes down to the human trafficking. It goes down to fentanyl. There's so many elements to here. And you listen to a president who said that he wants to secure a border. So much that he put his vice president in charge, who's only been to it one time. To a president who's been in office more than 42 years, and the closest I've ever found that he came was in a car driving by El Paso. In a concern that numerous times from both sides of the aisle has asked this president to engage about the concerns on the border. Just his language, in our very first time down to the border last year, there was a line of individuals there, and Tony, correct me if I'm wrong, when we were talking to them, we asked them why did they come and how many days did it take them. They had been walking for more than 18 days. They said, because Joe Biden invited us. That's what they believed based upon his language. This was right after the inaugural. He can start by saying, don't come. He can start by using every avenue to secure the border. But on his very first day, he stopped the securing of the border with stopping the building of the wall. The only reason you still have remain in Mexico is because a court told them to do it, but they're not upholding it. Remember to the American public what Title 42 is. If you catch somebody coming across the border illegally, you can send them back to their country. Not everyone gets that, only 55%. You're not testing an individual for COVID, but you're sending them somewhere into America. It's a catch and release. How many people do you think are going to be at that border next month? How many people have already started coming to the border knowing what May 23rd day is? And don't believe it's just Central America. They come from 160 other countries. We've had people from Russia, Uzbekistan, you name it, they're there. That's the concern. And who's making the money on it? The cartels who are becoming stronger. I remember having a meeting with Tony and some of his mayors talking about the number of days the schools had to be closed because of the shootouts coming across the border. It's like more than 40. Can you imagine kids going to school, but the schools being shut down because of another car chase from the cartels? Becoming more powerful. Have you watched some of the footage of what goes on just on the other side of the border? Looks like it comes from Ukraine. The burning of the cars. That's directly across from this nation. Yes, last question, we got votes.
You all always talk about every state as a border state and how the issues connect, but do you feel like that the voters and constituents are connecting those?
I think they are now when they sit back and look at every day a new person dies from fentanyl that had no idea where it came from, that didn't buy a drug that for fentanyl, but purchased something else, had no idea what's coming. I was home the other week and I picked up my local paper, the Bakersfield Californian. There was a mother who was inviting the community to her son's funeral because he had just died of fentanyl, to warn them. Yeah, it happens in every single state, in every single city, in every single community. It doesn't matter how wealthy, it doesn't matter how good a family you are, it could touch them all. You just saw 3 weeks ago in Florida, 6 kids ODing. They're the very best kids. They came from one of our academies. 2 of them who OD'd didn't take the drug. They simply did what they thought was right to give somebody mouth to mouth because they went into cardiac arrest. And they did as well. That is how powerful fentanyl is in coming across with no knowledge that that's what was in it. So yes, every single city, nobody is safe because this administration is not securing our border. Thank you for coming. It's very important.